Upload two different videos today. One is going to be just our traveling around. The second one is going to be inside the Cherokee Nation Museum, and it's a lot of pictures and a lot of reading. And so if you want to learn more about the Cherokee Nation and their trials and tribulations that they went through when they were on the East Coast, and the government forced them out, removed them from their land, and all the different stories behind that, then watch this video. And then if you don't want to see this video, just go ahead to the next video, which will get posted later on this day trip in Oklahoma. Bye. It says Cherokee National Capital, built 1867. Cherokee National Capital has been designated a registered National Historic Landmark. Under the provisions of this site possesses exceptional value in commemorating and illustrating the history of the United States, U.S. Department of Interior, National Park Service, 1962. I don't think that we can go inside because we have the dogs. I would love to go inside, but...
So you want to go inside, take turns?
Huh?
Did you want to go inside? We can take turns.
Well, yeah, we could do that. Interesting. Where the Red Fern Grows was originally published April 1961 as The Hounds of Youth, a three-part story in the Saturday Evening Post of a young Cherokee boy and his two prized hounds. Wow. 2003. Both films were shot on location in Cherokee Nation. I saw the movie Where the Red Fern Grows, and I loved it. So this is all from Where the Red Fern Grows. Wilson Ross, celebrated author and Cherokee Nation citizen. He was born in Scriper, Oklahoma.
I have not seen because his art show yet. But I'm just
I don't think I've ever read Summer of the Monkeys.
That number I gave you, you'll do all of that with
The old Capitol building may at a later date be used as a historic museum, an object of interest to those who admire the steady and upward progress of the Cherokees, who under great difficulties made their nation renowned. Okay, so this housed the Executive, Legislative, and Judicial Office of Cherokee Nation until 1906. Cherokee history, okay. I saw where the Trail of Tears started, which I believe was in South Carolina, I think. Being Cherokee is the proudest little possession I own. Will Rogers, did not know that. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly view some of these pictures, which are absolutely beautiful. There's some brightly colored art. Oh, look at this. I remember in high school, no, 6th grade, my principal, or my teacher, teaching the whole class how to do this. And I made something and gave it to my mom. I think it was an apple, but I don't remember. But it was so awesome to sketch on a copper. Students at the Sequoia Orphan Training School were trained in pottery. They're highly collectible. Like, wow. Let's go over to this other side. They harvest river cane to make hunting tools and baskets, and they discovered that clay from deep underground could be formed and fired to make pots and vessels. They used buckskin from deer, twine from native grasses to weave into garments and other goods. I'm not sure what that means, Cherokee removal in the 1830s. Okay, this is a Sure. It says twine bags made from commercially available twine and hemp. Okay. Oh, this is really nice. Look at this. The work that went into that. I hope you guys can hear me. I'm talking soft. And jewelry. Using bone and other materials to make points for river cane arrows. Right, I'm going to go upstairs and check out the upstairs now. Only 7 canoe groups remained when they reached the shores of an unfamiliar land. There's this picture, 7 canoes. Pre-contact Cherokee style. Before Europeans arrived, Cherokee towns thrived independently. Each had its own council house, warriors, headmen and headwomen called beloved women. Cherokee society was egalitarian. It valued men's and women's economic and political contributions equally. While Cherokee towns were independent in operation, Cherokee land was communally held by the whole tribe. A matrilineal seven-clan social system provided structure to each group and connected each clan to Cherokee people across the region. Clan names were related in some way to various attributes of animals. As Cherokee elders explain, our people recognize that animals demonstrate traits and characteristics that we want to emulate. Before European contact, Cherokees practiced substance-based living. They grew, gathered, and hunted for what they needed, for the communities to thrive, not for personal profit or surplus trade. As these practices depended on a flourishing environment, the tribe controlled more land than they lived upon. Women gathered edible nuts and plants. Men hunted for supplemental food supplies and to provide hides for clothing and lodging. And I love that it's also written in, I guess that's Cherokee. This was the Bird Clan. Okay. That's beautiful. I'm not going to read all of these. It's a lot to read. I would encourage you to go here and check this place out. I love that old warriors, likewise, or war women who can no longer go to war, but have distinguished themselves in their younger days, have the title of beloved. He was a prominent Cherokee statesman, George Lowry.
Elizabeth Watts, granddaughter of Cherokee Nation survivor, 1937.
The soldiers gathered them all up and put them in camps. They hunted them and run them out until they got all of them. Even before they were loaded in wagons, many of them got sick and died. They were all free-speaking. They lost all honor they had. White men even bought their dead slaves, take their jewelry, and other little trinkets.
Evan Jones, eyewitness account, July 10, 1838.
In most cases, the Indians were not allowed to gather up their clothes, not even to take away a little money they might have. In many instances, they were marched 120 or 30 miles through heat, dust, rain, and mud, and in many cases, barefooted, destitute of shelter. No regard was paid to the condition of helpless females.
Christian missionaries. The first Christian missionaries arrived in the Cherokee Nations in the 1730s, but not until the 1800s did Cherokees sustain an ongoing relationship with them. Missionaries came into Cherokee Nation seeking to teach Christianity to the tribe. and Western education to the youth. In 1800, the Moravians established a mission near what is today Chatworth, Georgia. In 1816, the Branhard Mission near Chattanooga opened. The missionary offered day school education and English language skills to Cherokee youth. Their education efforts also forged bonds between the missionaries and Cherokee people. As Cherokees advocated for the education of boys and girls, a progressive approach to education. Some missionaries, including Methodist minister James Trott and Dixon McCloyd and Presbyterian minister Samuel Worcester, faced arrest when they stood alongside Cherokee Nation in its efforts to defend its sovereign right. A few missionaries even traversed the Trail of Tears with the Cherokee people. And then over here we've got Bibles. I'm not sure what all they are, but I think this is in Cherokee.
We've done all in our part to remedy their destitute situation.
It's in Worcester.
By supplying them so far as we could, clothing, blankets, and shoes. But still, they have suffered a great deal.
Old settler Cherokee.
Since the 21st of October last, about 35. A great proportion of them were aged and children.
Elizabeth Watts, granddaughter of Cherokee survivor, 1937.
Most of them walked. Many of them died along the way. They buried them where they died in unmarked graves. The road they traveled, history calls the Trail of Tears. This trail was more than tears. It was death, sorrow, hunger, exposure, and humiliation to a civilized people as were the Cherokees.
Through forced removal. Okay. Not like that. When the Indian Removal Act was passed in 1830, this caused a strain on the government-to-government relationship. I would guess so. For years, Cherokee leaders stood united against removal. Once other tribes signed removal treaties, however, it became clear President Jackson did not intend to enforce a Supreme Court decision that ruled in favor of Cherokee Nation judicial authority over the lands in Georgia. Cherokee leaders became divided. In 1835, the Treaty of New Echota, which gave up all Cherokee lands in the southeast. The Cherokee government opposed it, but the U.S. Senate approved the treaty by a margin of only one vote. Cherokees peacefully resisted removal and ignored the deadline set by the U.S. for voluntary removal. When the deadline passed, 7,000 U.S. and Georgia Guard soldiers drove Cherokee families from their homes at bayonet point. Cherokee people and slaves owned by Cherokee elite were herded in stockades where they were held in the heat of summer to await the beginning of a long journey west. Cherokees faced the death of family and friends while losing access to their ancestral homelands. Approximately 4,000 Cherokees of an estimated 16,000 died on the way to Indian Territory.
They are now about to take our final leave and sign farewell to our native land. Country and great spirit gave our father.
Cherokee, you know anything like that?
I would like to think that I would be one of the U.S. citizens who were against the removal. I can't say because it doesn't involve me in any way, shape, or form, but I just think what was done to them was just so unfair. These challenges of rebuilding and reunifying their government, communities, and families, having lost a quarter of their population along the journey, joined together with the Western or Old Settler Cherokee and the Treaty Party Cherokee. Together they passed an Act of Union in 1839. They then ratified a constitution which recreated the three branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. Once the government had been reestablished, the Cherokee Nation Council turned its attention to national programs. In 1841, it passed the Public School Act, which established a universal public education program. The council also opened male and female seminaries, institutions of higher learning that offered free education to Cherokee students. The new Cherokee tribal land were held communally and governed by the Cherokee Nation government. Cherokee commerce began to flourish with mercantile businesses, mills, and successful farms appearing throughout the nation. Cherokee people thrived as they became acclimated to the new homeland. This renewed Golden Age Cherokee Nation would, however, be short-lived. I think that's his courthouse right here. I can't tell you what that says. Looks like all the schools in the nation examine the plan upon which they are taught. The improvement of pupils and, I can't tell, pupils and something of each and something by submission. Such information to the principal's chief to be submitted before the National Council. Okay, this is this building again. Removal had taken the lives of thousands of Cherokees, and in the 1835 Treaty of New Echota had violated an 1829 Cherokee law calling for the death of any Cherokee who sold tribal lands. Before formal political reunification occurred, internal violence swept through Indian Territory. On June 22, 1839, a group of Cherokees, raw from removal, killed 3 treaty party signers. Some believed these killings conformed to blood law, which required that balance be restored. Others believed treaty signers were guilty of violating national law. Courts to try them had not yet been reestablished, but the 1839 Act of a Union and the adoption of a constitution that followed quelled open violence, although hatred simmered between the political parties for years. After arriving in Indian Territory in 1839, a group of men associated with the National Party met in secret to discuss what to do about the members of the Treaty Party, believing that those who signed the Treaty of New Echota were traitors and should be executed. A secret plan formed to time the assassinations of the leaders who signed the treaty. Elias Boudinot, Major Ridge, and John Ridge were all killed in separate attacks. These executions raised the explosive tension between the treaty and nation parties. Modern government. President Reagan. Seal of the Cherokee Nation, September 6, 1839. Additionally, Cherokee people believed in a creator. They held ceremonies and dances and practiced medicine in accordance with their beliefs. When missionaries entered Cherokee Nation, many Cherokees believed their traditional beliefs were compatible with Christianity. Some denominations embraced Cherokee language and ordained native preachers. As a result, missions and churches spread throughout tribal lands and became central gathering places within communities. While Christianity is the dominant religion in Cherokee Nation today, some Cherokee people and communities bring the practice of traditional medicine to their Christian religious observance. Dances continue to be an essential part of Cherokee spirituality and not usually shared with outsiders. And of course, we know about the code talkers. Sorry. Should have took the elevator.